My name is Lisa Amick, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of STEM Education in the College of Education. So SEM 343 was a course designed to study intersections in gaming and the teaching and learning of the STEM disciplines in the P20 learning experiences. This course was designed to help teachers augment their skills and improve the way that they teach the STEM disciplines to students in a more fun and engaging way. So the students in the class are learning how to use games to teach math, science, engineering, and technology to middle school, high school students in a much more hands-on, authentic, student-centered, and engaging way. Throughout the course, students are switching between learning theory and then also putting that theory into practice in hands-on practical ways. And then they're also thinking about ways to address critical issues in STEM education using games as one of the mechanisms to do that, as a much more accessible ways for students to access those STEM concepts. So one of the best things about this course is that we play games. We have 90 minutes a week dedicated to just gameplay. And so students are able to choose a game or multiple games of their choice, and they just get to play games for a large chunk of the class time each week. And they can do this collaboratively with their peers or with people that are maybe not even in the class, or they can do this on their own, but they just get a large chunk of time to play games. So that's one really engaging, interactive part of the class. Another part of the class is discussions about those games. And so a lot of times gamers like to play games, but then they also like to talk about the games that they're playing. So there's dedicated time in class to do that as well. So we come together as a class and we talk about what games you played this week, what you liked about those games, maybe what you would change or what you would do differently. But then also we think about games a little bit differently, and we talk about the educational side of them. And so what STEM concepts did you find in those games? Are there math concepts that you came across? Are there any science concepts, engineering, technology? And then we kind of think about them differently in a way that students maybe have never thought about before. And can you use any of those games to teach those concepts to students? And so that's one of the things that I think is very unique about this course, is that not only is there dedicated time to play games, but there's dedicated time for students to talk about the games that they're playing and then think about them in a way that they've never thought about them before. This course is a game analysis, and so students have to select 2 games of their choice, and they can be board games, card games, electronic games, any game that they want, and they have to analyze them in terms of what STEM concepts they see in those games, and then how they could use those games to teach those STEM concepts to students. And so there's a lot of student choice in which game they choose, and then which STEM concept they want to pull out of those games. And they do an in-depth analysis of what age level that STEM concept is, how they would use this game to teach it to students, and thinking about just how to implement this game in a classroom setting. And so that's one of the core assignments that students really enjoy about this course, is just if they were a teacher in a classroom, how would they utilize this game in a way that students could use it as a learning tool. The other core assignment in this course is a unit map. And so instead of choosing a game, like the first assignment, students are choosing a STEM concept. So they can choose a math concept or a science concept, and then they think about all the games that they could use to teach that concept. So they position themselves as a high school math teacher or a high school science teacher, and they think, if I'm teaching this mathematics concept, what is a series of games that I could use to teach that skill? Or if I'm a biology teacher or a chemistry teacher, what is a series of games that I could use to teach like a 5-day unit with certain skills? And so students are being creative and thinking about, thinking back to their high school days or middle school days, and if they were sitting in a classroom, maybe they didn't have this type of instruction, but they wish they did. And so thinking about them positioning themselves as a teacher, what types of instruction, what types of games, what kinds of experiences did they wish that they had that they could then implement to students, so that those students are having those rich, authentic experiences that maybe that they wish they had as students. If you are considering enrolling in gaming and STEM education, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a very low-key, low-stakes course. It's fun. It's a lot of gameplay. If you like playing games, this course is definitely for you. And it's a chance for you to play your favorite games and to think about them in a different way. Even the games that you have played for hours and hours and hours, you're gonna find new intricacies that you've never found in those games before. You're gonna think about them critically in ways that you've never have. You're gonna start thinking about them as teaching tools, as mechanisms to teach STEM concepts maybe to other people in your lives. And so if you are considering taking this course, I definitely encourage you to reach out to me or to reach out to somebody in the College of Education if you have questions about it. But it's definitely a fun course that will pique your interest. It's high engaging and will give you the opportunity to play a lot of your favorite games. It will introduce you to new games that you have never heard of, and it will give you an opportunity to collaborate with like-minded people who like to play games, and will give you some space to talk about some of your favorite games with other people who enjoy some of the same games that you do.